Why words now? Alex Wissel. Why words now? Alex Wissel. Why words now? Alex Wissel.
Anthropos. Last year, a friend of mine took his own life. Sadly, he was already the fifth of my friends from the Düsseldorf art scene who ended his life in this way. It made me think about whether these were perhaps not just tragic individual fates, but whether there is also a structural component to it. In a way, I have the feeling that to some extent they all struggled with the conception of artistic genius, which has to do in particular with the teaching under the then Kunstakademie Düsseldorf rector Markus Lüpertz. In the exhibition I will later show you, I approach this concept of artistic genius. To what extent are such terms still lived practice? Who invited them, and what notions of masculinity are associated with them? The term artistic genius became really big in the 19th century. Artists like Bertel Thorvaldsen, in which former studio we are in here, were hired to create national identities via image production. I took these photos today in his museum, which is opposite of the Parliament. This kind of image production has deeply influenced our thinking not only of national history, but also of behaviorships of artists.
But why is the artist genius concept still alive? And why does it fit perfectly into the neoliberal narrative of winners and losers? I try to approach these questions by reflecting anew on my role as impresario and manager of the Single Club at that time. The Single Club was conceived by me directly after my studies as an alternative model of public space and participatory social sculpture. From June 2011 to June 2012, artists staged experimental parties and performances here, which unfolded with the participation of the audience. Thanks to the total commitment of all participants, the space was redesigned each time. Many used the event to create art and music projects. In this sense, the club was a stage for trying out a wide variety of formats and a catalyst for new bands and collectives. Somehow, the Single Club has caught exactly the time when the behavior and self-perception of one's own performance in relation to the public and social media has changed. Part of the agreement of the Single Club was that the club was to be a stage for a film yet to be shot, and therefore the right to one's own image was surrendered upon entry. From the collected cell phone and camera footage, Jan, Bonnie, and I later developed the film Single together. In 2011, Facebook, etc., was still in its infancy, and public behavior regarding self-promotion strategies on social media was accordingly innocent. Relatively, few people were filming. I don't think the concept would work today, as the whole world has become a singles club. It seems to me that since then, publicness has been generated by sharing private things. In the ag of the neoliberal ministry of loneliness, the dictate of authenticity by artist geniuses prevails.
Christopher Williams, a former professor of the Art Academy, designed a beer mat for the predecessor project of the Single Club that indirectly refers to the multiple alcohol torture by Martin Kippenberger. On an alienated Schlösser Artbildlich are two phrases written. Down by the waiter that stand for dying. Both editions serve a bourgeois longing for the free, lonely, wild, and unhealthy artist life, which is always also characterized by romantic longing for death. There is Sigmund Freud's observation that the death drive is conservative. The death drive can also be seen at the Bertel Thorvaldsen Museum. Yes, I am ready to die, now that Bindelsbøll has finished my grave. Thorvaldsen is said to have announced a dinner party on the evening before his death in 1844, shortly prior to the inauguration of Thorvaldsen's Museum in 1848. Thorvaldsen's coffin was transferred from the Church of Our Lady to the underground tomb in the museum's inner courtyard. Part of the Andropause exhibition is an installation that quotes the colonnade from the basement of the Single Club. On it are placed a number of drawings of mine from a very wide variety of times. During the time of the Single Club, I was not able to pay my health insurance. In some cases, large sums resulted from the follow-up costs. Some drawing used the debtor papers from the time as the background of the picture. What ideas of artist life are reflected in this pictorial production?
In 2012, the Single Club ends. In the same year, Markus Lüpertz illustrates the constitutional law of the Federal Republic of Germany for the Bertelsmann Publishing House and the Bild newspaper. In addition, an exclusive special edition with bronze bust is produced for sight. It means to me as if this kind of artist performance needs tradition and law and order as a backdrop and a pretext to perform its unbounded freedom fetish. With regards to Lüpert's directorship at the Kunstakademie Düsseldorf, a similar performance can be described, which flirts with the reversal of conditions. However, the actual old state is then manifested again, from Berlusconi to Johnson to Trump, a quite similar carnivalistic style of leadership has also established itself in politics, which virtually resupposes the frivolous complicity of the subordinates. I wonder, for which production the Single Club has staged, as it also part of Lüpert's constitutional law. Did I also play an artistic genius? In the film Single, which was not a documentary, I already consistently played the lonely male artist subject, Alex, who develops creative power from his pain of separation and creates the Single Club. Say me again. Me, 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 me. But what's not the film or the club was not about for me. For me, it was about the grace of the role, not having to play oneself all the time. From the remnants of the artwork and decorations that were created for the Single Club, I built a sculpture that I think I'll call either social sculpture or Salon des Amateurs. Dancing, dancing, dancing. dancing, 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 dancing,